Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are here with part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Just do it.
Of your saints for the month of May.
The saints. Oh.
Yes. Part 1, I have less saints in that than the other ones because I wanted to separate the two very well-known Saint Martins in the month of November.
So, first off, Saint Martin de Tours.
His feast day is the 11th.
Yep, he was born in either 316 or 336 in Xavier, which was in the Diocese of Pannonia, which is now Hungary.
He died on November 8th, 397, in Condes, in Gaul, what we now call France.
Yes.
He is one of the earliest popular saints who was not a martyr. So that's part of what makes Martin stand out.
Yep.
Although he did offer to be a martyr.
Totally.
His attributes are a man on horseback, a man on horseback sharing his cloak with a beggar. Mm-hmm. It's a long one. Cutting a cloak in half, a globe of fire, and a goose.
Awesome.
And I didn't relook the goose story, nor did I double check to make sure that we have it titled as Saint Martin de Tours, so that it comes up
Martin
in the
de Tours.
Martin de Tours. See, that's why I separated them.
Yep.
And so it comes up. So somewhere in our many years, we did explain why a goose is his symbol.
Go back and search the catalog.
Yeah, search for everything.
Go back and watch all our back catalog.
It's
the whole thing.
It's a laudable thing to do.
Now.
He's the patron.
Well, not now. Get to the end of this episode.
After this episode.
And then do it.
He's the patron against poverty, for cavalry, equestrians, geese, horses, innkeepers, the pontifical Swiss guards, quartermasters, rides, soldiers, conscientious objectors, tailors, vintners, reformed alcoholics, and many, many locations.
Now, I'm going to assume that when it says he's the patron of rides...
It should be riders. There was a typo.
Oh. Okay, because I was going to say, I'm presuming that when somebody says,
hey,
can I give you a ride? That he doesn't suddenly become the patron saint of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
piggyback rides.
There
the
were
patron
horses,
saint of piggyback rides.
And then there were carts. I wonder if there was a patron saint of carts. We just lost track of it.
Wait, carts?
We now know
cards.
No, carts. You're riding around in a cart.
Yes,
wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
We now know what Nate wants to be the patron saint of. Piggyback rides.
Piggyback rides. Yeah. That's going to be my weird one. People are going to be like, people 500 years from now are going to be like, patron saint of piggyback rides?
I did have a Dominican nun ask me, a group of us, what do you want to be a patron of? It's like, I never thought about that. Like, I want to be a saint.
I want to be a patron saint of the piggyback ride.
Nate knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the one where you go back on them and be like, well, the best patron saints are the ones that are ironic based on how they died.
Yep, so I don't know yet.
I won't know.
So therefore, I want to be...
Nate's going to die in a tragic piggyback riding accident.
Remember, you already declared that you were willing to be the patron saint of sandwiches and snakes. So really, you needed to keep with S themes because it makes it more hard to read for future generations.
Okay.
But anyway, Saint Martin. His father was a high-ranking Roman official. His parents appear to have been pagan, but he became Christian at the age of around 10.
Good for him.
Right. At 15, he followed his father into the cavalry corps and was thought to have...
At one point,
It was thought to, at one point, have ended up in the Emperor's Guard. Sorry, the lines were blurring together on me here.
Yeah, so that explains the pontifical...
That explains the Swiss guards, the cavalry, the equestrians, horses, soldiers, riders.
Yes.
Yeah.
His most well-noticed story is he once encountered a freezing beggar, and he cut his cloak in half. Now, at the time, it's not what you think as a cloak. It wasn't like, oh, I'm wearing this cape because I'm going to a Ren Fest or something. Like,
this was a big piece of fabric.
And yards of wool.
This was a serious outer garment to protect you from the European winter.
It was a big piece of fabric that you wrapped around yourself in order to stay warm.
Imagine the full 10 yards for a kilt.
Yep.
So, this still gave him enough to stay warm. The beggar did enough to stay warm. However, imagine if you just randomly took your shirt off and you're in some branch of the military. Like, this is so against all the uniform codes of the day.
So he showed up to where he was going, and they're like, "Where's the rest? Where's the rest of your cloak, soldier?"
I gave it to some guy.
And he's like, some guy needed it more than I did.
But he had a vision later that he had actually given his cloak to
Christ. Mm-hmm. Christ was the beggar.
Amen.
Yes. Some sources say dream, some sources say vision, but in either case, he had an event where he saw it as this. He clearly, if it was a dream, it was one of those, super prophetic dreams that, like, it sticks with you, and it's not just like, oh, I dreamed I live in the land of marshmallows and you could eat the walls.
What you did for the least of these, you did for me.
When he turned 20, he had a change of heart, and he informed his superiors that he could no longer fight in the armed forces. Mm-hmm. They, of course, told him, look, if you don't have to fight if you don't want to, but if you're not going to fight, we're not going to pay. And he said, well, that's all right.
This is the Roman Guard. They didn't say that. They said basically, you're in the military. You could stay in the military, or we can kill you. And he said, you don't need to pay me. And if we go to war, I will go into war. I'm just not going to have
I'm gonna leave my sword behind
with me. I'll be there. I will stand in the front. Luckily, probably due to the fact that he's a saint, so God ordained it this way. Mm-hmm. The people they were having a war with declared peace before he got.
He said, we don't really want to fight you guys anymore. You guys don't play nice.
So that's how he, in the 300s, became the patron saint of conscientious objectors.
Which historically just does not work out well for you in the Roman army.
No.
Saint Maurice and the Theban
I like
Legion.
your story better.
Mm-hmm. So he went on to become a bishop, was a very holy man, and so many places are named after him because, again, extremely early saint who was not a martyr. So
it
very
also
popular.
traveled pretty far. Like, you got a huge chunk of Europe that you could reasonably say, oh, St. Martin was here at some time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a George Washington slept here or not, it's at least a reasonable story.
Well, there's even an island in the Caribbean, St. Martin.
Mm-hmm. All right, our next saint is one that we have used, because she is the patron saint of parking spaces.
That's right. You need a parking space, you know who you call on? You call on Francis Xavier Cabrini, also known as Maria Francesca Cabrini, or as we like to call her, Mother Cabrini.
Boom.
Mother Cabrini, find a spot for my little machine.
Mm-hmm. She was born on July 15th, 1850. That seems very late. In San Angelo, Oggiano, in the kingdom of Lombardy Vientia, part of the Austrian Empire.
Yep. She died December 22nd, 1917, at the age of 67, in Chicago.
No, you gotta say it right.
Oh, sorry. In Chicago!
Her feast day is November 13th in the United States, and the rest of the world, the day she died, the 22nd. I imagine because she's an American saint, and therefore we don't want it to be, we're doing the O antiphons, we're not going to pay attention to the saint's name.
Yeah, we wanted to emphasize her. She's one of ours.
She is a patron saint of immigrants.
Yep.
Being herself an immigrant from Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. She was the youngest of 13. Mull that one over just a little bit. The youngest of 13, born to farmers.
However, apparently she was one of 5 that actually made it to adulthood.
Hey! I understand.
Now
but
that's
I'm just
amazing
saying.
because she was born 2 months premature.
Yeah.
Yes, which even now is an iffy thing. So
and
back then.
In 1850? Holy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. She grew up to become a teacher who wanted to join the Daughters of the Sacred Heart, and later the Canossian Sisters,
but
was rejected by both due to her health.
Yes, because again, she was born too much premature back before
we had really good medical care for just about, anything.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we didn't have incubators yet, because I've read the book about how, that was a Coney Island sideshow that actually, helped hundreds of people live.
Mm-hmm. Honey, this was a time where, in all likelihood, if you got shot almost anywhere in your body, odds were not good unless you got, care now.
Well, the only thing they're going to do is they're going to cut off the whole limb.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you have the world's fastest surgeon, they will do it with a 300% mortality rate, having killed the person and side people who are helping.
But despite her health issues, she was later able to join the Sisters of Providence, and she worked in an orphanage.
Yep. She also founded the Institute of the Salesian Missionaries of the Sacred Heart and moved to New York City to care for the Italian orphans there. But when asked, while there, was asked to make a school.
Yes. It was one of those things, again, they didn't have telephones and stuff. So she talked to her bishop and everything, sent letters saying, we need people for the Italian immigrants. It was the time when it was like the first major wave of Italian immigrants. They were facing a lot of discrimination.
This is the New York City. This is the New York City that you see post. I can't remember what I was going to use now. But this is the pre-19th or pre-20th century New York that everybody's used to seeing.
Yes.
Tenement houses.
Also, there's the fact that there were various Catholic organizations there. However, they were largely by, what country you came from. Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff for the Irish because they came over in the famine, but it was just the first wave of really big Italians.
Italians did not help Irish, did not help Germans. Sadly, there were divisions within the body of Christ.
So she went over because they're like, we need Italians to care for the Italian citizens.
Yeah.
And then she got over there and they're like, actually, we sent you a letter 2 months ago saying, can you hold back for a couple weeks? And also, instead of an orphanage, we
like
need
you
a
to run a school.
You're a teacher, right?
And her response was, yes. Okay. Yes, I am.
Sure, no problem.
So, no problem. Later she traveled to make schools, hospitals, and open religious houses in Nicaragua, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, Grenada, and also around the United States. And I think it was 1910, she actually became a naturalized citizen as well.
Mm-hmm. So, I know there's a big
not an American-born American saint, but an American saint.
And I know there's the first American saint.
I know there's a big community with a devotion to her in Denver, Colorado.
Yep, and she was there, too.
Yes, she was there.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yes, and also the slum / whatever of Candyman was named after her. We were just like we haven't seen this in a while. We're watching, we're like, the Cabrini, I'm like, all right, now I know why it's called that. Mm-hmm. Probably named after the actual area, in New York called it that.
Yeah.
So.
Good old Mother Cabrini.
Finally, on our list.
Nope. Two more.
We have 2 more.
We have 2 more.
Dos Mas, and they're both great.
Yep.
Dos Mas.
I kept the greats together because it's easier to tell them apart.
Next on our list for this episode, Saint Albert the Great. He's also known as Albertus Magnus,
which is Latin.
Which is Latin for the greatest Albert.
He's also known as Albert of Swabia, Albert von Borstad, and Albert of Cologne.
Actually, there's multiple other variations, but these are the most common ones, so I didn't go through the list of 20 different ways that people have called Albert the Great things.
He was great. Should be noted. He was called Albert the Great in his own lifetime.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. He was born sometime around 1200. And he died November 15th, 1280.
So, he was maybe 80-ish.
His feast is November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. His attributes are the Dominican habit, a mitre, a book, and a quill.
And given his story, I think it would be hilarious if his was making him sit in a classroom where he's in front and St. Thomas Aquinas with his little birdhouse churches in the background. Because he's even bigger than him, because he was his teacher.
I'm your only friend. He is the patron of people in the natural sciences, medical texts, philosophers, and scientists.
He was a Dominican friar, a bishop, a scientist, a philosopher, a doctor of the church, a teacher of St. Thomas Aquinas, and, as if that wasn't enough, he was also a diplomat.
Again, called the Great in his own lifetime.
He essentially invented some fields of science. Mm-hmm. He went and said, essentially, I'm going to study this. He did minerals. He possibly discovered arsenic first. He would, he broke things up just beyond the we're following the classic Greek of here's this, there's philosophy, and there's the world turning, and then there's mass.
And there's the four classical elements. It's like, no, let's break things up.
And despite all of this, we don't really know a whole lot about him.
We do know a whole lot about him. I was very tired when I wrote this, and basically we discussed all the important things by pointing out the many things he did.
No. We don't know much about him, other than that he became a Dominican, possibly after having a vision of Mary.
Please go down below and make a list of all the
things that
we
Nate
still have from him. he did some sort of summa.
Sure, we have another episode on him somewhere. You can go and point out, Nate. No, you know lots about this guy. Nope. What I've got right here, that's all I know.
Well, and it should be noted that his lifespan encompasses, exceeds the whole of Thomas Aquinas' lifetime. He was born before him, and he died after him.
He was very sad when his favorite student died.
Sure. I mean, this is 1200.
Especially because the fat man died young.
This is 1200. He lived to be 80-something. That's a really old guy in those terms.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and people kept calling him a living saint from, like, middle age of his life on.
Because he was great.
And then everyone's like, please, I want to be your student. You've discovered all the sciences.
Like, you're not that bright. You don't need me as your teacher.
Here, read all these copies of Aristotle I put in Latin, and then get back to me.
Here, go copy this into Latin, and then you can read it. It's good to be the boss of the scriptorium. And we end the second part of our Saints of November with a great saint for the month of the dead, Saint Gertrude the Great.
Also known as Gertrude of Helft.
She was born on January 16th, 1256.
And died on November 17th, 1302. So she lived through the lifetime of, or some portion of the lifetime of Albertus Magnus.
He was what we already known as great by the time she was born.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Her feast day is the 16th, and oddly,
unless you're an Episcopalian.
Yeah, they have it for the 21st. Again, she died on the 17th, so neither one is her death date. And I assumed, there was reasons at the time, but
her attributes are a cross and a heart with rays.
Is somebody else November 17th?
I don't know, because
we need a calendar.
It's not ringing any bells, like a big one. Anyway,
we might note a 17th saint on next part, but it's not of the level of no one else can have that day.
Yeah,
we need
whatever.
We need a calendar. We also need a liturgical calendar.
Yes, but anyway, for all her greatness, I found out that her patronage consists of the West Indies.
Huh.
She was known as being a nun, a writer, and a visionary or mystic. She loved the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Did we do her attributes?
Yes, because her attributes were a heart and a cross with rays.
Ah, gotcha. Sorry.
Because she loved the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Indeed.
And also, a prayer that cannot be guaranteed to free 1,000 souls from purgatory when you say it. Jesus might have told her that when she says it, it does that. But again, she is the great.
But it is still a good prayer to pray. Just don't be attaching specific numbers to it.
Yes, we did a whole episode where I pointed out, I haven't checked to see if they're still around. There's a very, somewhat trad group that you sign up for how many times you say it, because they've calculated how many people they think have existed in the world based on, Adam and Eve being, 6,000 years ago. And therefore, if we say it that many times, everyone's out of purgatory. Which I appreciate the math and the hustle, but that's not how it works.
Well, it seems like kind of a weird kind of universalism.
Especially because...
Well, it covers anyone who possibly could be in purgatory, according to their things,
See, but I'm going to have to argue with that, though, right? Because what's the ratio of people who go to purgatory and people who go to hell? Because there are some people that, despite all of my best prayers, God willing... my prayers can can bring them to heaven, but I'm less than hopeful.
Yes, and the group...
Hope is a virtue, Nate.
Hope is a virtue.
And the group did seem like the type of people who, in any other place, would be gleefully happy about how few people get into heaven.
Yeah. Anyway, so, praying for the holy souls in purgatory is a great thing to do, especially in the month of November.
And you should do it.
But praying a prayer that may or may not have been written by Saint Gertrude the Great will not release 1,000 souls, even though it is perfectly good to pray that prayer.
It could release 1,000 souls. You don't know
Praying
that it
a
doesn't.
prayer based on praying a prayer for no other reason than that because you were told that if you were told by somebody that somebody else was once told that if they did it, they would, and therefore you must, so you could. That's just nonsense.
Yeah.
I wish at this point we were one that had
Remember-
like sponsors, so we could then do the group that helps people with OCD, because this really seems like an OCD issue.
Remember,
If I pray this 50,000 times.
private revelation is for the person
Yeah.
who received the revelation. It may very well be beneficial to everybody else,
But it's not binding on anybody else.
but it's really only for the person who received it.
So, we ask you to comment below with either a link to the calculator to figure out how many souls are being freed, or, better yet, an extensive biography of all the great things about Albert.
Yes.
Give something a like, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified the next time we talk about the Saint of November.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.